Right. It's
Correct.
just the itis.
Like we read the room. We know where to use it and where not to use it. You got to read the room.
Give me the room.
You got to read the room. Okay, we record. Amazing.
Wow, what an intro. Okay,
I don't
but
think it
first,
caught half of it.
let me take a selfie. As usual, they never catch half
No,
of it.
they don't get the good stuff.
No, the behind the scenes.
Yeah, they don't.
It's Tuesday again.
It is Tuesday.
Here we are. What do you think? Let's do an intro and get straight into it, shall we?
Okay.
We have an esteemed guest today.
Ooh.
We're looking forward very much to doing this. Q, have you prepared something?
I actually typed up something and had ChatGPT refine it for me.
Look at the preparedness that we have
Now,
here.
Dr. D, if I misspeak, make any corrections you need to.
I tell you what, let me open it up.
Go ahead, brother.
Let me do the intro real quick, and then you ready?
Yes.
Soon as I come out of the intro, I'm gonna turn it right over to you. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna give you the eye
Yes, sir.
in Jim Carrey fashion.
I love Jim Carrey.
I love Jim Carrey.
Since in Living Color.
Don't black hole, please. Shane, intro.
Living Color.
Shane.
But see,
You
of a
gonna
certain
say
age,
no black hole.
remember the halftime football, the halftime Super Bowl,
Which one?
where In Living Color changed the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's
They changed the
because
Super
of
Bowl.
them. We
And
had
then-
the Bowl.
Yeah, we talked about
And
that
then
one
Michael
episode.
Jackson,
But
and that's it.
yeah.
Oh man.
Period.
Remember Men on
I would
Sports?
enjoy this show.
Oh my gosh.
Dick
In
Buckets.
Z formation.
It's Z, three
Oh my
snaps in Z
gosh.
formation.
Oh my gosh.
All right, you ready, Mr.
Right.
Producer?
Before it's time. Hollywood owes the Wayans a lot.
Coming to you
I
now
agree.
from our underground lair, deep inside Huntsville, Alabama. Here with my co-host, Q the Messenger,
Hey,
our illustrious producer. Kevin, the boss man Richardson.
Come on.
They call me Shane the Brain. If you're listening this far, you've got Vendor Chronicles. Let's go.
Let's go.
Here we are.
Here we are with our esteemed guest, Dr. Denise Mose,
Hey.
who wants to be
Welcome,
referred
Dr.
to
Mose.
as
Thank you.
Dr. D.
Dr.
Yes.
D, I love it.
All righty. Today on Vendor Chronicles, we welcome a woman whose journey stretches from classroom to continents, from Huntsville to Hollywood, from education to global influence. Dr. D is a professional educator, author, celebrity correspondent, TEDx speaker, and global traveler. After dedicating more than 25 years to education, she stepped outside her comfort zone and moved to China, an experience that would transform her life and inspire her book, Blind Faith, a powerful story about purpose, risk, and self-discovery. A Huntsville native and proud alumni of Alabama A&M University, there we go, Dr. D earned her doctorate and built a respective career as a college professor in Orlando before taking her life overseas. Beyond education, she carved a lane in media and entertainment, becoming a celebrity correspondent, interviewing icons like Oprah, Denzel Washington, Chadwick Boseman, Brad Pitt, and more, while covering major global events, including the Oscars, Grammys, Sundance Film Festival, and Wimbledon. I don't even know what that is.
Wimbledon? Serena?
Wimbledon.
Tennis?
Oh, the
In
tennis.
London.
Yes. Okay.
Wimbledon.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
In Wimbledon, England. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Good stuff.
She has delivered a TEDx talk in Johannesburg, hosted her own podcast, Self Discovery, on Sundays,
Mhm.
continues to teach and maintains a presence in the entertainment world, proving that reinvention has no age limit. From the classroom to China to the red carpet and back home to Huntsville. Today, we hear the story behind the woman, the journey, and the faith that guided it all. Welcome, Dr. D.
Wow. Thank you, Q.
That's all I got.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Q. I'm going to send you a cash app because you said that.
You
did all
welcome.
that
You
good
welcome.
stuff.
You
So
welcome.
send
You
your
welcome.
cash app.
Look,
Welcome to Vendor Chronicles.
Thank you. I'm
So-
honored to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
it's
This
a
is
small
amazing.
thing, but I noticed one thing that in my research I found that I didn't hear.
Okay, go ahead, Shane.
Add all this
Mm-hmm.
25-minute intro. It's half the show just telling all of your accomplishments, and we haven't even gotten there
Yeah, we
because
ain't stressed.
you're also a fragrance design. What do you call? What is? What?
I didn't dig that one up.
Oh my goodness, that's okay. Oof. Okay, so real quick.
Okay.
So when I was in Orlando, Florida, Lynn Burnett was a successful entrepreneur at our church, still is in Orlando, Florida, and he owned a bunch of restaurants and a bunch of businesses in Orlando, Florida. And at our church, we had a class for entrepreneurs, anyone that wanted to have their own business. So the class started with like 20 students, and by the third class, I was the only one. And
Wow.
he said, because you stuck with it, I'm going to help you. And he said, you're into fashion and beauty and things like that, so you should consider fragrance. And I'm like, I don't know anything about fragrances. He said, well, I do. I know a guy who has a lab in Paris. You've got the personality for it, and I've got some friends at Macy's. So probably 7 to 8 months, we built the capital. I secured the funding. We had a launch, and I was at Macy's for 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. As a promo item in Macy's for 6 weeks.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, Lynn Burnett, amazing man.
Shout out Lynn Burnett.
And he's
Shout out
still
Lynn
in
Burnett.
Orlando, Florida,
Lynn
and
Burnett.
an amazing mentor, and just poured into me and said, you want to do it. You stay with this class, and I'm going to support you. And we had Simply D, and 6-piece skincare line, and then we had cologne called Daniel, and named it after my dad.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we had 2 launches
Wait a
for
minute.
both of
What's
them.
your dad's name?
Daniel.
My son's name is Daniel.
Yep.
See, this is why we.
There you go.
Gonna be all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Y'all locked
It was
in.
an interesting.
Y'all locked in, Shay.
I'll tell y'all a mini story here because I
Go
showed
ahead.
up for actually. Dr. D showed up first this evening. As always, we met at Honest Coffee Roasters. Shout out Honest Coffee Roasters.
Yeah, they were. Shout out Caitlin.
Shout
Shout
out.
out Caitlin.
She did a great
Caitlin.
job.
Shout out Caitlin.
Soon to be on the
For real.
podcast. Did a great job of
Absolutely.
taking care of us.
She
this
was
evening.
amazing.
Yep. So
They always are.
Yeah.
I got the word that Dr. D was already in the house, and I was already on site about to get out of my van. So I rolled up, and I'd seen a picture. But, of course, you hadn't seen me,
Right.
had no idea who I was. So,
Right.
From your perspective, you were approached at your table by a stranger
Right.
that said, "Excuse me, are you Dr. Mose?"
Uh-huh.
Depending on who's asking.
Is that how she responded?
No.
Oh,
You can just
I
see,
am.
there was enough of a question in her eyes that I better explain myself pretty
Right.
quick, right?
Right. But Kevin did say, "Look out for Shane and Cute." I'm like, I don't know who the people are.
Who is
So I
Shane
said,
Q?
Kevin, here's my picture. So tell them I'm here. And then
Yep.
before I know it, Shane, you walked in.
Yeah,
So,
I'd already seen the picture, and I was
Yeah.
already here and was getting my things straight. So, but that's always fun when you walk up and meet somebody that you're to have a conversation with, and there's no buffer, there's no one to introduce us.
Right.
We just sit down. But it took about 30 seconds or so before we were already in conversation. So it was fun. We've had a good start to the evening. Honest Coffee Roast is a great place to start a great conversation.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah,
And when I walked
absolutely.
up, y'all didn't
I
look
love
like
it.
strangers.
yeah.
I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No,
Y'all
it was
both,
already,
y'all both was
know.
comfortable.
Not at
Yeah,
all.
Yeah, it was
settled in.
already.
It was beautiful.
One of the things that strikes me, Dr. D, about my research and looking in, and I very intentionally did a surface dive. I don't want to get too deep because I'd rather have a conversation. I'm much more interested, for all of your accomplishments, I'm interested in what you have learned that you can maybe help me see differently. Does that make any sense?
Sure, sure.
A person can rack up accolades, but if they haven't taken the time to analyze those things and figure out how to have a practical use for them, or at least a practical piece of advice for somebody, then kind of what's the point? And I feel like you're the person that's been reflective enough to have some of those opinions. So I'm looking forward to that. But one of the things that strikes me is that there's all kinds of different people in the world, but there are some people that talk about how busy they are and how they don't have time for anything. And then there's some people that do so many things it takes half an hour to introduce them, And then I was like, I forgot about this one time when I had my own perfume and skincare line.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot about that. That would have been the highlight of some people's life.
Sure.
For 6 weeks, I was in Macy's and had my,
Yeah.
That was such a
It was a little longer
footnote.
than that. It was really almost about 3 months. I was at Macy's.
It's very,
Yeah. So
And for some people, they would be living on the glory of that forever. And you're like, just for a second, I was doing this. It was
yeah.
a
That would have been most people's
side-
peak.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
wow, I was
But
at
that
Macy's.
was a small footnote in your very interesting life,
very elegant.
um,
Shane. Yes. Mhm.
and I find that fascinating. So there you go. And I wonder how much of that we spoke extensively about your travel, and anybody that knows anything about you, we talked about Johannesburg. I don't know if we've mentioned China yet, but we certainly will.
Classroom to China.
Classroom to China. Thank you, sir. But it seems to me in my life, people who have traveled the most extensively often have the most interesting perspective on life. And the people who have traveled the least Oh my goodness. You know what? In this room, I am the least traveled individual here. I realize as I look around and had thought about that for a second, I'm the least traveled person in this room. So yeah, by definition, I'm the least interested. But it does seem like travel gives an interesting perspective. And you and I started talking about that. So, without further delay, tell us a little bit about the importance of travel.
I am very grateful that I had parents that introduced us to travel at a young age. And my parents, were teachers and educators. And they said, here's a history book, and we want you to see all these places. We're Christian, so the Lord made all these places, go see them. And as I got older, we continued that. When I started teaching, I took myself someplace every year. I still do. I take myself someplace new every year. I don't care if it's local or abroad. I go someplace new every year because I just want to get my own perspective of it. People will say, well, I've been to New York, and people hate you in New York. Well, that's not true. I love New York, and I didn't get that. That's not my experience. So I'm just big on having my own perspective of a place I go to. So when I'm asked about that, I can say, well, actually, it's not like that or is like that. But then just seeing it for myself, it's one thing to see the Grand Canyon, but when you go to Flagstaff, Arizona, and you see it, it's like, wow, it's more important. It's bigger than the picture. Or if you see the ruins of in Beijing of the Great Wall of China, you see pictures of that, but then when you can touch it and you can say, no, I was there. I felt that, or go to Paris and see the Eiffel Tower and take the elevator up. So I'm just big on life. Life is so very short. So if you don't take opportunities and see these things, you'll never know. I've been to all over the world, Brazil, Dubai and India and Taiwan and Korea and Hong Kong, all these places I've been to. And it gives you a great perspective of people and respect of people. And their cultures, what they believe in, and then what you immerse yourself in, and then what you can take from that and share with other people. So, yeah. And then, of course, South Africa. I often go to Africa, go to the motherland, and I had an opportunity to do that 3 years ago with my sister. We went to spend 18 days in South Africa and went to Cape Town and Victoria Falls and Zimbabwe and Soweto. And saw where, where Mandela was jailed, and on Robben's Island, and it's just incredible. Tabletop. Jesus, it's these places are places you want to see and just you dream about, and you hear about. And Cape Town is beautiful. When I was in Cape Town, I saw New Orleans, I saw Paris, I saw London. They say Cape Town is the most unique city because you see every city in Cape Town. And
of course, you would have had to have seen some of those cities to recognize that.
Well, there's that too.
If you put me in Cape Town, I'd probably be like,
this is nice. It's like,
You see downtown Huntsville.
I haven't traveled. So,
right, but if you've been to New Orleans and you see the balconies, you see that you see that on one street in Cape Town. If you've been to New York, you see somewhat of Times Square, and that's also in Cape Town. So, what a unique place. So yeah, traveling is a big picture book, it's just a kick for me. I love to travel. And I like traveling far. I like going far, like 17, 18 hours in a plane.
Wow.
Far.
That's a long time in a plane.
But it's nice first class, though. First class is nice.
I bet it is.
Yes,
I wouldn't know.
So first class is
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, when you go up front, you don't mind 17 hours.
It's a whole different...
You get a shower, they give you pajamas, you get shoes, you get 8-course
I can't imagine showering on a plane.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. But look, even on those 8, Coach is nice too. Look.
Okay, but look, and from what I've heard, international airlines a lot of times are different than the Southwest to Dallas or whatever it is. You got different
Chargers.
The
Chargers. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a charger. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Look, I'd show it with my lawnmower battery with my little inverter. It'd be in my backpack. I'd have my phone plugged into it.
Go.
You ain't going to deprive me from watching the latest episode. By God, I seen that Duck Dynasty. Hell, them boys can call them ducks. Quack, quack, quack.
Oh my Lord.
That's fascinating. But I've heard that the airlines are different, but I've also, all right, so real talk then. What's the difference in price between a first class ticket and a coach ticket? I've heard crazy numbers. Let's say you were going from Atlanta to LA. Mm-hmm. Would it be twice as much? 3 times? 5 times?
I go to Atlanta a lot. I fly to Atlanta a lot and Nashville a lot. So this is pretty familiar for me. So coach Atlanta to LA, Delta Airlines about 400. Spirit maybe 125. But you're paying for a seat,
Correct.
But if you are flying Delta, which I fly a lot, out of Atlanta to LA first class, it's about maybe $3,000.
$3,000.
Now I'm not paying that.
Oh, sure.
But
But
it's about $3,000, maybe $4,000 because
I mean, in the end, you are paying it, but it comes to a point where
No,
it's
you
worth
go
it.
not if you're going for work though. Like
I'm not sponsored. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could say, "Hey, give me the other 1,500 or whatever." Whatever. That's not whatever
Sure,
it is. But
So it's
that much. But
you're paying for the convenience because the moment you sit down, you get
if you're flying all the
margarita,
time, you're flying
mimosa
5 times a week or whatever it is, for sure.
or weekly. Like right now right now is award season. So right now there's the Golden Globes, there's the SAG Awards, there's now the Actor Awards, and the Oscars are in 2.5 weeks. This is so everybody's flying to LA back and forth,
Right.
getting fitted and things like that. Then there's the Met Gala, there's the Kentucky Derby. So this is award season going on right now. So
Right.
People who fly like me for NBC and what I do, it's pretty normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And certainly going to be worth it. Yeah, I can't stand to fly. I can't stand to fly. I would rather drive my car 12 hours than fly for 3. But if you have to do it all the time, you can't drive 12 hours every day.
And I love to fly. I love 35,000 feet. I love it.
It's just the inconvenience of the situation that bothers me. Once I'm not scared of the flight.
Yeah.
I'm scared of heights, but in a different way than that. I'm not, I'm not, the flight doesn't.
So you don't like, getting your seat number or things like that, or
the crowd,
the wait.
I got to show up 2 hours early. Somebody's going to check my pockets.
And
I'm a big proponent of the Second
if you're
Amendment,
going,
so
and
I
if you're
gotta check
going,
my stuff,
and if you're going abroad, it's 4 hours before the airport. They'll be there 4 hours before.
And there's always some fool in flip flops and pajamas that has no respect of look.
Yeah.
Put some clothes on when you go out in public in general, but especially the airport. I understand it's a little bit more inconvenience to take off a pair of shoes than it is your slides with your Superman socks. But you know what? You're out in public. Represent yourself as though you care what people think about you, even if you don't care. And it's obvious that you don't. I don't need to see all that. Put some clothes on. Come on, act respectable. There's just no sense in that. It's worse than going to the movies. Freaking airports and these. Have some freaking dignity. Learn how to. All right, here's a word I do know. But you know what? We talk about ancient cultural words. Here's one I do know. Act right. You need some act right.
Some act right. That's an ancient cultural word.
It's a term I've heard.
Those days are going away.
I think that's an Afroism. I don't know about an ancient cultural
act right.
You better get some act right.
I don't know how far back it goes. I'm just saying it's something I heard when I came down south, and you knew if it came from a grown woman's voice that was your last warning.
But there's definitely
because the next thing she gave you was some act right.
Yeah, but the vernacular that we have in the lexicon of the South, is very, very true. Things you hear here that you don't hear in New York, you don't hear out west, you don't hear like in Seattle.
Like what?
So
Give us an example.
Well, that's one, act right,
right.
But for example, my mother didn't tell me to be quiet. She gave me a look. Now, that's a Southern thing.
Nonverbal. Sure.
Yeah, she's in the nonverbal cues,
So if
we were in church and we were being too loud, she'd be in the choir stand and she would just look and okay, let me get it together. She didn't just say a word.
You knew it.
And that's going away. Now kids are like, what you looking at? And it's like, oh my gosh. So
telepathy.
It's a different day. It's a different day.
It is.
And you learn that through culture too. Like when I was living in China, when I was living there, I love the experience. It was absolutely beautiful. Like we were talking about earlier, it's important that you don't eat all your food because it's an insult to the chef because you want to feel like I'm already full. So it's just these things you learn when you travel. It's really, really beautiful to see these things. It's really, really
interesting.
Cool. Yeah, more ways and four ways.
One of the things I like the way you put that because one of the things that fascinates me is cultural norms. Mm-hmm. I've thought a lot in the last year, for instance, about profanity. Mm-hmm. What's profanity to one person is not profanity to another person.
Sure.
Here in America, the word fanny is a cheeky way to tell a child to move it quick. And if you go to England and say fanny, that means an entirely different thing. And you wouldn't want to say it to your child in any kind of way, And yet, just the sound of certain words is taboo. We talked about recently, we were all at a steak restaurant. And I didn't take my hat off at dinner. And I just asked, that used to be a thing. If you were inside, you take your hat off.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that's a custom anymore. But it makes absolutely no difference to the dinner whether you take your hat off or not. Nobody's going to get shot or choke or, what poisoned or anything if you don't take your hat off. It's just a cultural norm. You've traveled enough to be able to see some of those different cultural norms. Like, for instance, not eating all of the food on your plate. Here in America, if you didn't eat all the food on your plate, that might even be considered an insult. What, it wasn't very good. You didn't finish your beans or, your chicken or whatever it was I made for you.
You had to finish your plate when I was a kid.
Yeah, you better finish your plate.
You couldn't get up from the table.
Because there's kids in China starving is what they told us, right?
Yeah.
They're starving in China, and so you better finish your plate here.
Yeah.
But some of those things are pretty important if you don't adhere to them.
Sure.
Tip your hat to a lady. Used to be
open the door for a lady.
Open the door for a lady.
Yeah, open the car door.
Used to be you'd get smacked if you didn't open the door for a lady. Now you almost get smacked if you do open the door for a lady. What, you trying to say I can't open the door for myself? Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Chivalry.
Yeah.
Chivalry is dead, but men didn't kill it.
Ooh. Oh. Okay.
Chivalry is dead, but men didn't kill it. Oh, first controversial statement.
Okay. Back to my books. Two things we're going to discuss.
We need a moderator like this on a regular basis. Is what we need. Somebody to keep us a little bit more within those railroad tracks.
Yeah. We'll black hole quick.
Kevin's shaking his head.
So, but tell me this, from a just a general cultural perspective, what do you think is the biggest difference between us and, say, Asian cultures in general? You've been to Hong Kong, Taiwan, different places like that. What are some of the things that you see that are different that would never be accepted here or vice versa? The
value of education. The value. There are so many places in China, airplanes cannot fly over schools because kids are in school. That's how important it is. And I think what got me living in China, I lived in Lilshi, China, which is about 4 hours from Shanghai. So it was the real deal, Holyfield. There was no Walmart, there was no Starbucks. It was the rickshaws with the hats. It was authentic China. And that's what I wanted when I moved there. I said, if I'm going to do this, I don't want to go to Beijing because that's like LA. I don't want, Shanghai. That's like New York. If I'm going to go and do this and immerse myself in this culture, I want to be where the real people are. So when I was there, they had farmers markets and they had grocery stores. And what got me, y'all, there are no cash registers. They have the money in a box because their math is perfect. So, and they don't cheat you on your money. So, if I would say, Leon Shaw, how much is this? Kwaisa. And they would say, okay, this is what it costs. And they had lines of people and food and beverages, and they knew everything. So the way they value education. Now, there's no sports teams. They don't do cheerleading like we do on the weekends and things like that. They don't do any of that. There's no social life. But their value for education is very high. And they do very well with their education. But they have no outlet. Because I was Western, I was off on the weekends or off 2 days. But the folks who worked there, my co-parts, they only had 1 day off a week. If some only had 1 day off a month. So it's quite different. So
a couple things that I'm thinking about from what you just said. First of all, when you say there's no, there must be some sports teams, in schools or, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Because China has Olympic events. Those people must be trained somewhere.
So if you're going to college, you can do all that. But for the most part, if you're elementary or young or intermediate, there's no sports. There's no sports.
What about arts in general? Music, dance?
That's what they put their value in, which I think is wonderful. So by the age of 12 or 13, 1 in every 3rd Chinese student is mastered. Is at a master level. So whether it's piano, guitar, they're at a master level.
Some sort of
by 11, 12.
1 in 3?
1 in 3. Master level. And they can all play chess. So
no physical competition.
Yeah. And some schools, and see, now, also, the province you're in depends. So if you're in Beijing, which is a lot more Western, then some of the schools have football. Some of the schools have cheerleading. Some of the schools have that. Where I was, no.
But traditional Asian culture wouldn't have those.
They wouldn't have that,
athletics.
No. But if you live in a Shanghai, if you live in a Shenzhen, which is near Hong Kong, if you live in Beijing or close to Beijing, because they're more Western to your USAs and your Italys and your Paris and your Londons, then they have that. But most of the the schools do not have that. They don't. That's why they look forward to going to college, because they can do these sports and have some freedom and things like that. Not so strict.
So yeah, they don't grow up playing little league or flag football or none of that.
No.
Interesting.
No.
Guns, no guns, right?
No, it's illegal.
In any way, shape, like
It's
nobody.
It's illegal. And I felt so safe in Dubai and Taiwan and China. I could go down a dark alley, nothing happened, because they're very big on the afterlife. They're very big on humanity and people. You don't hear Asians scream in the street. They don't do that. If there's an argument, you do it at the house. But it's not in the street.
Don't fight in public.
No, they don't do that. They don't do that. The streets are very quiet. They don't do that. You know, they believe in the ancestors. For New Year's, they burn the money and they send to the ancestors. I'll never forget that. Yeah. And it's beautiful. You know, like right now is Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. It's so beautiful there. They're off for 15 days because they work so much. They have 15, 16 days off. So they travel to Thailand, all these places, and the parades, the dragon parades.
I'd love to see all that.
It's beautiful, y'all.
Yeah, I'd love to see all that.
And then at the end, you release your lantern for the new year. And I did that, and I'm like, oh my God,
what a
beautiful.
cool ritual.
Beautiful.
You would get drunk and pop fireworks.
The Far East is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the culture is beautiful. I went to...
could you live there for the rest of your life?
I could. I thought about it. Now, where I could really live is Thailand, because the U.S. dollar goes very, very far there. I think like 65 U.S. dollars is like 300 baht. So when I traveled over there, because I was so close to everything, I was five star, hotels, because you're not paying anything.
Exchange rate makes it.
But and that's why so many Western people live abroad, live in Thailand, because you make a lot of money. And when you come back to the USA, that money is protected.
As long as you've been gone for...
You've been gone? Yeah. USA can't touch it.
364 days or something like that.
Cannot touch it. I've got a private account that USA can't touch it. I earned that money over there.
Right.
So it's just sitting here until I retire, Right. So it's and that's why so many of us are over there, that's why so many kids right now are doing a gap year. I thought about Caitlin. She would do great, like in Thailand. She would do great over there.
Wow.
She should consider going abroad, because many of your 18 to 25-year-olds live abroad.
We've talked.
And they travel and make money.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked on here a little bit about that gap year.
Yeah.
Become a digital nomad.
Why not? Several kids are.
Who's big on that is Australians.
Okay.
From my experience, my wife and I like to go to South Beach as often as we can. We used to go more regular than we do now. But we have a 2.5-year-old. That's something about me you haven't found out
yet.
You
have a 2.5-year-old baby?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I also have a 33-year-old son and a 29-year-old daughter.
Go ahead, Shay.
Life is full.
Go ahead, Shay.
One must,
You have a toddler, a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah.
Boy or girl?
A girl.
What's her name?
Madeline.
Oh, Maddie.
Yep. Madeline Ruby Knox. Yeah, Maddie and all. Yeah, every.
Maddie Rue.
Oh,
Daddy's Maddie.
Cool.
Yeah. But now, as does my good friend.
Oh Lord.
His son Enzo is 6 months older than Madeline.
That's cool.
He is 6 months older.
They're besties.
We joke about them being besties, but then they get around each other. Madeline talks about Enzo a lot more. So yesterday was Jessica's birthday.
They do a lot of. They call it parallel play. They don't really. Play beside
but they'll play beside each other. Yeah. But Madeline asks about. She associates Enzo with birthday.
Enzo asked about Madeline today.
Isn't that funny?
I want to see Madeline. That's exactly the exact words came out of his mouth.
When we were talking to her about Jessica's birthday yesterday, she associates birthdays with Enzo because we always go to their place or whatever. When, we always have done the, so if it's a birthday, we see Enzo.
Nice.
But then
I did one up you on this one, no shame.
That's a fact. Go ahead.
Not only do I got a 3-year-old, I got a 1-year-old. And I have one in college as well. So I'm all over the board.
And a 13-year-old?
Look. Y'all were done. Y'all started.
I would have been done in 5 years. I got a 13-year-old. Yeah, 5 years I would have been done.
13-year-old and a 1-year-old.
He ain't done yet.
I got a 19-year-old.
It's another one coming.
13, 3, and 1.
I'm predicting it already. I've already predicted it.
But with y'all? I love it though. Look, like the circle of
What's
life.
wrong with us?
The circle of life.
I ask myself that question every day.
Every day.
I mean, seriously. I said, what the hell was I thinking?
When I was 21, I knew that I was not having children because I was teaching 5th grade and loved it. Absolutely. And then did a year in kindergarten just to see what, and that's when I said, I'm not going to, I can't do them all day.
You can't do
and then go
age.
home to one, and I knew then I'm going to be the cool aunt. And I am. I'm the fun aunt.
Nothing
You
wrong
know,
with
I
that.
do Walt Disney World, Universal, LA, New York, DC. I spoil them for a week.
What they say,
and
you
I send
always
them
want
home.
a rich aunt or uncle with no kids.
I think
See,
I'm the rich
there you
auntie.
go.
You want to be
I'm
the
the
rich?
Cool. I mean,
Yep.
I am.
Yes, that's what you want.
My niece is.
Oh, my
my
goodness.
niece. Oh my gosh.
I bet
Madison
she's
Staley
so
is.
spoiled.
No, she's rotten.
I know she
But she's
is.
a good kid because I wouldn't do it if she
But
wasn't.
she is a good.
How old
yes.
is she?
She's 16 and she's a fencer.
I
heard
did see that.
She's about to
Your
do- I didn't
niece-
realize she
yeah.
was 16. I
She's
heard you talking
awesome.
about her. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
She
She's
does
cool.
fencing tournaments.
Yes, she does. She beat her coach.
I never knew a black
Wow,
fencer.
okay.
That's why she's doing
Well, how
it.
would you know?
I've
They
never
got a
known
whole-
a black
And that's why
fencer.
she's doing it because
But
I
how would
said,
you- they
we
might
can
all be
always
black.
do.
You don't
The covered head to toe, they might all be black for all you know.
personally.
Yeah, yeah.
They could be though.
How many
I've
white
never
fencers?
known one
How
personally.
many white fencers have you known personally?
Several.
Everyone I seen.
Everyone. All of them.
Yeah.
are usually
I'm just
Caucasian.
giving you a hard time about it. I'm just giving
But
you
that's
a
why
hard
we
time.
That's
did that,
amazing.
Q, because we're like, she could always do, your regular sports. We were like, well, let's do something different because she's very tall and
something
she's all arms and legs. And we were like, let's try that. And so, she came to me and she said, TT, I really want to do this. And they're having training at UAH. And I said, what time? And she said, can we go? I said, I'm picking you up. So we went, signed her up, paid for it. It's been 3, and this is my twin, Denise. And I'm like, it's done. It is finished, like Jesus, And so, and she loves it. And she loves it. She loves it. She's doing really good, and she's learning about, 'cause she's the only child, but she's learning about, how to protect yourself and all these great things. And then the fencers in the Olympics, she's like, oh my God, this is awesome. She's awesome.
Is there any real world self protection that I know nothing about fencing. Is there any of that that's going to transfer over her as far as self protection in the real world?
I think so. I think she'll be able to guard herself better. She's very green.
Just the
she's
alert,
got great
on
parents,
guard.
great family.
On guard, yeah.
But she's able to, control her emotions and and not trigger people and not get herself triggered as well.
Right.
So
The
which
discipline
fencing-
that comes with it.
which
Discipline,
fencing teaches
sure.
you. You know how to
Discipline.
that's the word, the discipline.
The discipline, yes.
So
That's
she's
definitely a
really
real
good with that.
world
But it also is a conversation starter. Oh, you're a student athlete? Yes, I'm a fencer. What?
What?
What's a fencer?
So
You go, girl.
and she has, excuse me, I can't say swords, they're epes. She has 3 epes, 3 swords.
Epes.
And because she has her training sword and then she has her battle sword.
Oh, I didn't know that's what they call them.
yeah,
epes?
an epe.
I've heard it before, but
Epes.
I'd forgotten until you.
Yeah, so it's cool. TT bought those. So.
Do they have electronic sensors?
Yeah. And she has her cords, that she gets
Yeah.
many. I mean, it's a cool sport.
I'm sure.
It's cool. So yeah, she loves it. Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I saw that you had a twin.
Identical twin sister, Danielle.
Identical twin sister.
We are day and night. So when Danielle got married and had a baby, they were like, Danielle's having because my twin doesn't really do people.
Mm-hmm.
She's our mom. My mother was very much, it's black or white. My mother was very direct.
Mm-hmm.
She was a math teacher. So everything had to be absolute. So
I heard you
Yeah,
used the
she's
phrase.
very,
yes,
very
yes.
direct. And my
1
father,
plus 1 is 2.
yeah. And my father is very much jovial. How you doing? I believe in the gray. I'm very much
So
my
they
dad.
work.
That people person. Oh yeah, you can yank.
Yeah.
So my twin is mom and I am dad. So and she's the yin to my yang. But yeah, she's Danielle. She's awesome. She's an accountant. Which just makes sense for what she does. But happily married, and they had Madison.
That's amazing.
Can't see you as an accountant.
No, I love people.
Yeah.
I'm an educator, so I
Sure.
love people. Yeah. So
So you've taught, that's something I've wanted to bring up a little bit. You've taught in private school for sure, but have you taught in public schools?
absolutely.
Okay.
My first job was public school. Yeah.
Okay.
Is
in
that
Florida.
the 5th graders?
Yeah.
Fifth graders.
In
Okay.
Mascot, Florida. And when I was there, there was a McDonald's and a Kmart. I
That's
was in
it.
Mascot, Florida. So now they got Trader Joe's. When I drove down there, went up to Florida, I said, you got to be kidding me. Because when I was there in 1995,
Right.
there was a Kmart. And when the Winn-Dixie opened,
Oh.
there was a line everywhere. Because I was
Definitely showing your
I was
age.
in rural, Florida.
Yep.
Because Orlando was 30 miles away. So you go to Orlando
okay.
on the weekend,
Right.
But yeah, I was there for 3 years. Loved it. Got my feet wet. I was a 21-year-old and in a portable,
Oh,
the
wow.
Trailer, yeah.
you're
trailer,
the
yeah,
youngest one, so
basically,
you get the worst of
you get the
everything.
Yep.
Yep.
But a great experience. Loved my kids, and I loved it.
So
Absolutely
you
loved
taught
it.
5th grade and then kindergarten.
That's what I said about my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I knew.
The kindergarten.
Yeah.
Off the chain.
If you come into a class of kindergartners, Yeah, I can see
I
that.
love my first 6 weeks. So I said,
can
oh,
see
y'all are interesting. And that's why I got my PhD. I said, let me do adults. And I'm like, oh, adults pay for their education. No more field trips. No more parents. Let me stay with adults.
No more wet pants.
No, none of that.
Ain't got to deal with,
And you're paying for your education. So that's why I love Athens State. Been with Athens State 6 years now as an adjunct. Love it. Love it. My students are serious because they're paying for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're like, Dr. Mose, okay, I will have so-and-so done. Okay, love it. Great.
What are you teaching?
Everything in business. So I'm teaching this. This is best.
How long have you taught at Athens State?
6 years.
What is it, MBA?
What do you mean MBA?
Ain't that's like they call it a business degree?
Well,
a
or
master's
PhD.
in-
Yeah, my
or
kids are all getting
PhD
my kids are all getting their associates, bachelor, masters.
And master. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your PhD in?
Business.
Business. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Master's and PhD are both in business. I'm pretty sure, right?
You got to
Yeah.
have the master's to get the PhD, though.
Yeah, and I didn't want my PhD, but my dean and my advisor were like, well, you're young, you're female, you're black. You know, Denise, down the line, you might need this. You might want to pull this out when you need it. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And it was five.
You ain't
it
never
was,
gonna
it
be
was a
mad
It's
if you had
amazing that they
5
pushed
year
you.
commitment. Yeah, it was 1999. I got my MBA, you know, and I was done because I had gone from education to a business degree. So it was crayons to statistics. And I'm like, what the?
99, you got your PhD.
99, got my MBA.
The MBA.
MBA in 99.
Yeah, I got my PhD in 2004, 5 years later. 5 freaking years.
Wow, that's a long. I mean, you graduated from high school in 90,
90.
and 15 years later.
This before the interweb like it was,
Yeah.
too. I can't imagine.
And see, I had just done distance education. They said, well, that's
That
not real.
dissertation
And
or
now
whatever.
everybody's doing what? Online education.
Online
Everybody, yeah,
education.
And when I first, they were like, well, that's not going to really
That's
work
not
at all.
real.
And I'm like, I said, well, this is the only way I can do it because I'm still in school. You know, I'm still teaching every day.
Military's been doing a version of that for 30, 40 years,
Forever.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah. But, yeah, now
Nobody
it's
questions
like,
their degree. So.
I'm like, I started that mess. So, but yeah, it took me 5 years. But I'm so grateful because he was right. He was
So
absolutely right.
you taught in the public system
Yes.
for those 5 years getting your
Help me, Lord.
PhD.
I did.
And then from that's when you moved on to a university.
Yes.
Adults.
Yes. Loved it.
How was that transition?
Loved it.
Just easy?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it.
Didn't look back.
I did, and I haven't. Well, I'll say this. I did in 22, 23, I taught 5th grade at a private school.
Okay.
And I went there for their career day. The principal said, I cannot afford you, but I need you. My kids need you. And I said, I we doing a little better now, so you need to.
We do it a little bit better. Yeah,
I need to.
Look, I know my value.
But y'all, I met the kids, and I said,
Yeah.
send me a contract. So I did it for a year. I got paid pennies, but I loved it.
Yeah.
And those kids I still
At that
talk to
point,
this
it wasn't
day.
about the money.
It wasn't. It was about.
yeah.
But you know what? I always say that there's money and then there's ministry. And education is it's a soul work. You have to like little people. You have to like children, even adults. You have to like kids to be in education. You need to like them. You need to really, really. I was a preschool director 2 years ago, and they were 0 to 5 years old. And I'm like, oh my God. But you know what? It's about the ministry, about the kids. And they were from Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
And again, the CEO was like, I need you. I know you don't want to do this and you don't need this, but I need you. They need you. And I'm like, dang it, send me a contract. And I loved it. It was great. I did it for a year. But it was beautiful. Beautiful.
What do you think?
Beautiful.
We hear a lot of talk about public schools.
Yeah.
Very seldom with an air of holding one's nose. Public schools necessary, but
Yeah.
What could we change that would be? What would be the most effective change? No matter how good any system is. In other words, I'm not passing any judgment on our public schools.
Yeah.
There's good, there's bad. I went through the public schools. I had some good
me too.
experiences, and I had
Me
some
too.
bad
Me
experiences.
too.
We all did.
Public and private. Yeah.
Some of it sucked, and some of it was great.
Yeah.
So it depended on the teacher. Honestly,
Period.
It depended on the teacher.
That's where it starts.
Which, of course, also depended on the principal. But anyways, what could we do different without passing any judgment? Maybe our schools are the best in the world. Maybe they're the worst in the world, but we could always improve. What could we do to improve the quality of education in our public schools?
You have to pay teachers.
You think money is the...
LeBron. I love LeBron James. I love
Okay.
Kobe.
Okay,
They make $50 million a year.
right.
They put a ball in the hole. 50. I love them. They're great.
Right.
But who helped you get there? So if you pay teachers more than just pennies, because teachers are on the front line, they're dealing with,
Yep.
they got 30 different personalities in class, personalities.
Sure.
I don't know what that kid left at home to get here,
Right.
and what they're going back to when they leave here. So you got teachers who are dealing with that, and then you have some people who just don't understand that and they don't care. People who are, and I'm very, very pro-teacher, but you've got some folks who just really, really want to be there. And then the admin makes it difficult to be there to do their job. So, and also, most pay for teachers is very, very poor because no one goes in education for the money. Nobody.
True.
Nobody.
How bad is it?
So,
Do you know numbers? I don't. I'm curious. Like the average starting pay.
I think for honestly, Alabama, I don't think it's too bad. I think the honors with a bachelor's degree, if you have to have a bachelor's degree to be in public school, I think it starts around maybe 42, 43. I think that's
starting.
It's starting.
Okay.
Starting.
But okay, that doesn't sound like a terrible starting spot. But
The
how
sad
far?
thing
But where
is-
can it go though?
Yeah.
If
Cost
it's
of
40
living.
if
Because
it's-
Huntsville is changing.
Huntsville is changing.
So,
that's for sure.
when I first started,
But I mean, okay, $40,000 a year
yeah.
by the hour
That's about $20 an
is $40 an hour.
And now they can go do it. You can do Chick-fil-A for what, $18 an hour now?
At 40 hours a week.
Yeah. More than that.
At 40 hours, right? But I mean, that's
More
what they
than
try
that.
to base it. But see, it's also, and I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here. So please don't feel. No. I'm gonna try and see both sides of it
Okay.
because there's also 3 months a year off.
No, not anymore.
Okay.
6 weeks,
Okay.
maybe 8.
As a person who spent 30 years in the restaurant business, I would have killed for a 6-week sabbatical. Once. In 30 years, I would have killed for a one. Now, I did it a couple times because I would change, but the only way I could do it was to quit a job. And then, say I'm not available for another, month or 6 weeks or whatever it is. So, I had to make my own kind of sabbatical. Now, it's probably a little bit more important that an educator get a sabbatical than your local McDonald's manager. You need time to refresh and recharge your batteries and, work on whatever it is, an education or whatever it is that you need to do. But what would you say to the person? I mean, not for nothing. There's a lot of people out there working way physically, for sure, way harder than a teacher. Mm-hmm. Restaurant managers being one that, would love to start out making $40,000 a year. As a professional educator, why is that? How do you answer that?
I'm not
Putting
sure
you on the spot.
but I'm not sure you can compare that. I hear what you're saying, but I think there's a lot more emotional toll on educators as opposed to a restaurant director or a restaurant manager.
That's probably true.
Because you're in a self-contained classroom all day with 25 to 30 children.
Sure.
But you guys got to add those parents. So if I'm a manager of a restaurant, I got my staff and they go home. Right. If I'm a teacher, I'm dealing with these children plus their parents.
You're also not responsible for that staff.
Their education level.
Yeah, when they leave your facility,
right.
What they do with themselves is,
good teachers.
You're not responsible as a teacher either, but I'm sure you feel
you are because you're tracking
the impact for sure.
On the youth,
you're tracking. You're doing assessments for that child from the first day of the class. If I was responsible. Every teacher is responsible for assessment. So if I had little Christopher or little Enzo or little Madeline the first day of class from September 1st. What is her retention and what does she maintain by April 14th when school's over? If I introduced amphibians, did she retain that? If I introduced integers, did she retain that? So I'm held accountable for what she learned, what Enzo and Madeline learned in that 1 year with me. So, and that depends on whether I'm hired the next year. So that's why teachers have a lot of pressure in classrooms, things like that.
How is that accountability? What does that look like in the school? You say you're
hired or fired.
But I mean, as far as how is it measured?
Hired or fired. So now schools are doing testing for students.
Okay.
And they will say, well, this doesn't really depend on your job. It does.
Of course. Yeah.
So
it's all a package.
Yeah, every year. It's a contract.
So what I mean is, how is that child's development measured? In other words, how are you?
Through testing.
Standardized testing. Okay.
Which are yay and nay. I get it. But a lot of times, there are some teachers who go over everything. Oh, sorry, Mr. Kevin. And that's on a test, and sometimes it's not because every standardized test is the exact same for the county or the state. It's the exact same. So if I have a teacher and I got a special needs child and I got to spend more time with him, well, I won't get to amphibians. We may just get to reptiles. And the test is on, and the standardized test get the amphibians and reptiles. Well, they won't get that. So when teachers are assessed on the level of those kids being maintained, and 80% got it, but 20% didn't, well, you might be hired next year, the first grade teacher, and not fifth grade. You might be in civics and not the honors class.
For 80%.
And that's very, very real for teachers.
Well, if a baseball player hit 80%, they'd be thrilled, right? You'd be the greatest baseball player in the world.
But didn't even the NFL went on strike because they were like, well, I can't get out. There's one ball in football. Right? There's one ball.
Right.
So in those contracts, and I learned a lot about this too, you only get those contracts if you get so many touchdowns or so many so-and-so. And there's only one ball in the game.
Yeah.
So of course they went on strike because they can't feed their families.
So the standardized testing thing is, that's an interesting one to me. What would be a better way to assess or to hold teachers accountable than the results? It seems a little one size fits. Let me get a little bit of background just for me personally. School for me, especially high school, was a joke, an absolute 100% joke. My junior and senior year, I never took a book home. I never did one homework assignment. I took a 0 on every single one.
Wow.
I skipped the last 9 days of school my senior year and took a 0 on all my finals.
And you still passed?
And still passed.
Wow.
Yeah. I manipulated my grade. I knew what I needed to have.
Wow.
I found out what the teacher would weight the final.
Wow.
And I was able to do the math and figure out what I could. In my opinion, thank you. I appreciate you making that face because that was a huge failure in my opinion. I feel like I had 2 teachers in high school who I can remember, in junior and senior especially, who I can even remember their names that actually did anything positive for me. And the rest of it was playing a game. I wanted to have that diploma. I thought I'd be a loser if I dropped out and got my GED. Boy, I wish I'd have dropped out and got my GED and went to college. But I think I'd have been bored in college too, probably. I just remember it was all taught to a certain denominator. There was a school was designed for a certain threshold, and you either stretched up to it or stooped down to it. And stooping down to it was no problem. It's like, okay, you said it in class. You said it 5 times yesterday in the quizzes today. I remembered what you said yesterday. The answer is B. Who invented the telephone? Of course, we got a very, it's interesting with somebody that's traveled and especially taught abroad. There's no way we can get into all that, but the way history is taught. If you're here, Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. If you're in England, it's another dude who invented the telephone. Same thing with the automobile and the same thing with the airplane. There were people flying in England before the Wright brothers ever got off of the ground. But to us, as far as we know, they're the first ones that ever got off of the ground.
And also what's not taught in the schools that, there are many, like this is like History Month. There are several African Americans of most things that we use, or the folding chair, the couch, elevator, roller coaster, Black people. And those things aren't even taught. You know what I'm saying? So depending on where you go, it's like, oh, I didn't know that. It's like, well, yeah. African Americans, so.
Yeah, history's taught differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter where you go. So in other words, if I were a teacher, especially 20 years in, and I'm told, well, such and such a number of people didn't pass this standardized test, I would probably it'd be hard not to just teach to the test. What would be a better way to do that? Nobody goes into teaching, I don't think, thinking, well, I'm just going to be burned out and do the very minimum that I possibly can. But I certainly ran into those teachers. How could we better, beyond pay, seems like that might be the first thing that we need to do. How could we better assess and then hold teachers accountable than by this one-size-fits-all,
I think it's bigger than that. I think you have to have parents in the conversation too. You have to have parents who actually, when I was going to school, the school and the parents were on the same page. That's gone today. It's very, very limited today. So it can't just be the teacher. Home and the school must be in it together. And that's just not the same page today. So that's the biggest problem too. You got a lot of parents who want to be their child's friend and be their best friend, and me and my friend going to the club. And I'm like, that's your daughter. Where's the one of accountability? Or a dad's like, well, I don't want to be mad at me, so we're just going to go play ball. Well, he got an F on 3 tests, So you got a lot of parents today who are big on gentle parenting, and I just don't want to bother him, and I don't want to make her upset. And my parents didn't care how I felt when I was a kid.
Sure.
My parents didn't care. But I also appreciate the fact that my parents reared me to have a healthy fear of them. So it's not just the teacher, it's the home. But, I don't judge homes because every home is different, and now there's more blended homes today due to recessions and people not working and cost of living going up no matter where you go.
Right.
Nashville is 90 minutes away. Nashville is horribly expensive. It wasn't always like that, but it is now.
Huntsville's not far away.
Huntsville's not far away.
Huntsville's not far away.
A studio
Especially real
apartment downtown is almost $2,700
Here
in Huntsville.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
In Huntsville, so that's the beauty and beast of growth, right?
Wow.
But that's why I do enjoy traveling and seeing how different people live. Like I said, you can live in Thailand and be a king and not pay anywhere near that amount.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in China. Same thing in Japan.
Standard of living overall. You've been to a lot of different places.
Mm-hmm.
How rich are we as Americans?
Oh, still very,
The average American.
very much, very, very. But it's just how we spend money. I'm a big believer that it's not the money you make, it's how you spend it. I know millionaires who are broke and single parents who do well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the money. It's what you do with it.
I agree with
What
that.
you do with it. Money is money, but it's what you do with it.
Money comes and goes.
It does. So it's just how you budget your money. But we're still the best country in the world. America's not perfect. No country is, but I'm not
Sure.
leaving America.
Interesting.
I'm not going to leave America. I'm not going to move someplace else.
Right.
I did for China for a while. But I'm still going to stay here. But
What
I don't
brings you
know.
back?
huh?
What brought you back? What brings you back? What keeps you here?
My family.
Just the
I
family?
need to see my dad. I need to
If
see
it-
my dad. Talk to my dad. I need to hug my niece.
So besides family, would you be somewhere else?
I'd be in Thailand.
Thailand would be the spot. If it wasn't for
Absolutely.
family, you'll be in Thailand
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Wow. What part?
It's Bangkok.
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 Phuket.
Phuket. Yes.
Phuket,
It's paradise. It's 85, 90 degrees every day.
Every day.
The cost of living is very, very low. I can have a very, very good job in a house and not pay anywhere near what I pay right now for my house, my mortgage. Nowhere near. So I would live in Thailand tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Thailand would be the spot.
Thailand.
Tomorrow, Kevin. Tomorrow.
So educate me just a little bit.
Yeah.
Taiwan is the province. I don't want to say it wrong, but there's been a lot of fighting over who owns that. China. That's Taiwan, right? Thailand
and
its
Taiwan.
own-
Yeah, they're different. Yeah.
Thailand is its own sovereign country. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like Hong Kong. Hong Kong is in Asia, but independent of Asia. So when you go to Hong Kong, you can't use Chinese dollars. They have their own government and everything like that. And when I went there, I didn't know that.
Hasn't there been some conversation about China trying to take Hong Kong? You're
I thought
educating
China
me 'cause I
was
don't
Hong
know.
Kong, like the capital of
Hong
China.
Kong- I thought Hong Kong was-
the capital of China.
I thought Hong Kong was legally part of
Independent.
China, or at least they say it is.
It is, but it's independent of China. So they don't speak Chinese. They speak Cantonese. They don't have Chinese dollars. So I learned that when I went there, I had all this RMB money. They were like, no, we can't do that here. And I'm like, oh, which is why it's good to travel. So you learn these things and you know these things. So.
Sure. Yeah.
And I brought a lot of money back. Like, when I did my speaking, you're like, bring your Chinese dollars, your Chinese money so we can see what it looks like. And 'cause the
That's
money's it's very beautiful. Just like in Africa. The money's very beautiful, different colors and stuff.
We've got the ugliest money ever. I mean, some of our coins are nice, but
It don't have colors on it though. It's just
colors.
green.
Yeah.
We just got green.
yeah. And even when I say our coins, but there's a lot of places whose coins are two different kinds of metal or whatever,
Absolutely.
or with a hole in it or
Bigger,
whatever. And ours
smaller,
are,
all kinds
yeah.
of stuff. Yeah.
But some of our coins, especially, the dollar coins and the, some of the commemorative stuff that's even, we got some decent coins. But as far as our bills, we can't compete with anybody really.
It's beautiful.
You play an instrument?
I do. I went to school. Well, Danielle, I went to Alabama A&M, go Bulldogs, on a music scholarship. So we play percussion. Music scholarship.
That's a drum. Percussion or
percussion,
any banging of the instrument.
Now, we went to Lee High School, which is, mostly white school and court style, so you roll your feet. Alabama A&M is an HBCU, just black band
Totally
director.
different.
So we use rhythm a lot, also very strategic, but there's dancing in between. You're like, what? So that was culture being a black person. Culture shock.
Wow.
So, but it was beautiful
For your own
as
culture.
well. For my own culture.
I was culture shocked by my own culture.
at Lee High School, you didn't dance between the song and dance to your spot. You didn't do that.
Because you
didn't do that.
You used to the what? PW? C or whatever, or PWI.
Public Award Institution, PWI.
Yeah, PWI.
So, but it was cool because at A&M
HBCU.
there were all these black professors. Everybody was doctors. They wore suits. I'm like, oh my god, this is beautiful, you know. So I loved it.
When last
It
time
was
you
beautiful.
picked up a drum?
It's been some moments, Enzo's dad. It's been some moments. It's been some moments. It's been some moments.
You think you still got it? Is it like ride a bike?
We do this thing every year at A&M. It's called Sweep the Field. Okay. So we, you march down the field and you play your instrument, or you just march. I just march. I march because when I was a freshman, Danielle and I played. We did cymbals, so I could do the splits in the air and behind the back. If I do that now, Ben Gay.
Oh yes,
and a bunch of it. Ice bath, all that kind of stuff. But, that's why we do that. The folks you saw at school 35 years ago, But every year at A&M, we march down the field, we sweep, we play, and kind of relive those moments, like get 2 or 3 hours and go home and be engaged.
You need to dust off the instrument next year.
Oof. So I love the cymbals and marimbas and drums and all that kind of, loved it, beautiful. My brother still plays for his church in Montgomery. He's a percussionist.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, that's how we.
Shout out A&M.
Shout out A&M. Shout out
Shout out HBCU's marching bands.
Yes.
The marching band.
Yeah, Jackson State and Alabama State, all of them. Yeah, Tuskegee. Beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Wow.
What you got, Shane?
No, I got nothing.
I see the wheels turning.
No, they're all, you know me.
I'm glad you joined us.
Have you been to an HBCU game?
I don't like football.
No, an HBCU game is not football. It's the music. It's the band.
People go for the band.
You go for the band.
You got to sit through the football.
Yes,
you got to sit through the football.
You should. We should work on that. Get you to an A&M game. Get you come to homecoming and.
Yeah. Football.
I have been trying to get him out his box.
You don't do people. You don't do people.
I do people, and I went to a Tennessee Titans game one time.
Okay.
It's probably the worst experience I ever had. I don't say the worst experience I ever had, but it really sucked. Yeah. I left at halftime. It sucks. Yeah. I don't want to be. I don't like organized sports for one thing.
Okay.
I know. I'm that Southern guy.
Okay.
And I don't like it, and I don't want to be. There's too many drunk people. Maybe it's different in college. It's a lot of drunk people in one spot.
So you have been to the Roll Tide game?
Hollering about, no.
Okay.
You ain't never going to
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I lived in Tuscaloosa for a brief moment after graduating high school.
Okay.
And I got just enough of that particular
That'll
environment
do it.
to make me really.
That'll do it.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was working in, this is a restaurant thing. I was working in a Wendy's, and I was very young, 19 years old. Had a guy working my grill who was probably mid-30s, probably 2-3 inches taller than me. Pfft, that's a seltzer water, ladies and gentlemen. Not that it's any of your business, all right? Golly. It's that 86 Kid Studio. We do as we please. But anyways, I had this guy working the grill. He was a grown man, and I was not. I knew at the time, had done time in prison.
But
I don't know what he did.
You was managing him.
I was the boss. He was the grill man.
Okay.
He was like on a...
That's a weird dynamic, Shay. Keep going.
It is, but it happened a lot when I was 19. I was the boss and other people were, it's like, I was in charge of grown people. Yeah, it was a weird thing. But
that's like me now, that's in state.
This is like 1 o'clock in the morning.
They're all older than me.
This is like 1 o'clock in the morning. The freshman class had just come in and registered, and they didn't have any classes for a couple of days, and they were all drunk and all out on the streets. Anyways, the girl in the drive-thru says, "Hey, John," whatever his guy's name was, "it's a dude outside standing in the back of your pickup truck peeing on the rear window."
Okay.
We all take a look outside the window, and that was an accurate description of what was happening. Like I said, John was a grown man, 15 years or more, and me had done time. I've got nothing about this guy, and he is, of course, fighting mad, and he's wanting to go outside. The doors are locked, we're only open, and I had to talk him down from, and I had no experience. The only thing I said was, "Man, are you really going to go back to prison over this drunk frat boy?"
Wow.
And I promised him that I would help him clean the pee off of his truck with a hose if he didn't go out there and kill that kid. And he didn't go out there and kill that kid. But just the experience of being in Tuscaloosa.
Sure.
I have no. But see, here's the thing. I didn't go to college either.
Okay.
And so I don't understand some of the things that you learn when you go to a university.
Sure.
I didn't learn. Some of the, my coming of age
Living
story.
in a dorm.
Yeah. My coming of age was, you're on your own and you got to pay the bills and you better figure out a job because ain't nobody here to help you. There's no, I just graduated high school and I was living in my parents' house, and now I'm out in the world on my own, and I got to figure that stuff out.
Did they kick you out?
No, but I was ready to go.
Okay.
And they were probably ready for me to go, to be honest with you. You know, it was probably mutually
agreed.
You know, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. But I never got the camaraderie that you learn from college and the friends that you make for a lifelong.
In those 4 years, they say those 4 years fly by, and they do. It was the best 4 years of my life. It really was. Because, you know, that's the one point when your parents don't wake you up. You know, you got to set your walk and go to the caf. And we were in the band. So when we finished, the caf was closed, cafeteria. So you had to know all the people who worked in the cafeteria, Miss Johnson, Mr. Edward, like, you know, we're going to be late, and they would save you a plate, you know, because you had to learn all that. Because in the band, you know, the HBCU, that's what the school kind of centers around, the rhythm of it, the music of it, the pageantry of a HBCU game.
And you learn that camaraderie, you know, there's 50,000 people all feeling the same way you do, you know, and it's not really about the game on the team. It's not. It's about the
and the game is important, but it's just it's a big family reunion every Saturday for
the game is the excuse to all come together.
Absolutely,
is the way I understand it.
It was beautiful,
but I never got it.
Loved it.
And when I played organized sports, it didn't work out so well. I told you a story earlier.
You did.
It didn't work out so well for me.
You did.
You know.
Are your kids in sports? Enzo, is he in sports?
Enzo's 3.
That's right.
He's not yet. My daughter's a professional dancer.
Okay.
She wants to be on Broadway.
Now, how old is she?
She's 13.
Okay.
She just got done with a competition this past weekend.
Are you going to take her to New York to see a Broadway show?
Yes. The goal was to do it this year. She loves Hamilton.
Oh my God.
She loves Hamilton.
I'm the one that shot him.
Then I looked at it. That was her musical. That was her dance.
Have y'all seen Hamilton? I know you've seen it. Yeah. You ever seen Hamilton?
And I'm the damn fuel that shot him.
I'm the one that shot him.
It's amazing.
Love that. Yeah.
So her solo this year was a Hamilton performance.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Lin-Manuel.
Yes.
Lin-Manuel.
I gotta show it to you. But
it's awesome.
The goal was to take her to Broadway in New York this year.
Man,
but then we looked at the tickets for Hamilton. It was like $500 a ticket
and that's the scalp
per ticket. So I was like, well, how about I just stay at the room and, you know, drop y'all off at the Broadway. You know, you and her go. I don't got to see it that bad. Not to spend $500.
You could find an off.
I don't have to. No.
You could. She got to see the real one.
Yeah,
I think it's coming here. It's coming in Nashville.
It's coming to Nashville, and those tickets are like $3 something. So those might be more doable. And we don't got to.
And you're
travel
in Nashville.
to New York.
Yeah, it's a day trip.
It's a day trip. We might stay the night. You know, if we do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's my daughter. My son was a.
Would you pay $300 for concert tickets? Is there anybody who you'd pay $300?
I paid $600 to see Prince.
Wow.
And I saw him 8 times.
It's not a fair comparison because
horribly no.
And I paid eight. I've seen him. I saw him 8 times. He's my absolute favorite artist in the world.
He has been gone a while.
He didn't die. He went home.
He went home. Yeah.
He didn't die. He went home.
What year was this you saw Prince?
Oh my gosh! I saw him when I was living in Florida.
When was the first time you saw him?
The first time I was in Atlanta. The first time. Danielle and I went together.
So this before the Fortune and Fame.
You know?
This was right when he was hitting it. You know, I think we were. This
I'm
was
talking about
90.
for you.
You
dropped this money on him before the Fortune and Fame.
Yeah.
Back then
remember,
it
I was
wasn't that
single.
much.
I was single.
Oh,
you know, so I was. You know, so I had money.
Back then it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
$800?
Not back then.
600.
It was 600 later on.
Yeah.
That first time you saw him.
Later on. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. When I saw him in Vegas, 600. Yeah. But when I first started, maybe $80, $60.
Okay.
In Tampa. In Tampa.
That's more respectable.
Yeah.
What year would that have been?
Oh Lord, that was probably 96, 97 because I had just moved. I just moved to Orlando, and he was playing in Tampa, not far from.
Purple Rain was one of those albums.
Ybor City.
Ybor City, Michigan?
No, Ybor City in Tampa.
Ybor City. Oh, in Tampa.
In Tampa, yeah.
You ever heard of a guy named Jason Isbell? He mentions Ybor City in one of. He's from Florence. He's a Americana / country kind of. I don't know.
But yeah, I saw Prince. Yeah, so my first time seeing him was in Tampa. I think the second and third time I saw him there too, and then. As we made more money, got more degrees, we spent a little more money. Went to Vegas and see it. So. And then at the Essence Festival I got with NBC, I saw him for free at Essence.
Nice.
Backstage and all that kind of stuff.
Essence in New Orleans. Okay.
Yeah. And then he passed away. So my bucket list now is to go to Paisley Park. I haven't been. I want to go. Paisley Park, his
Where's
rescue
that at?
studio
Yeah.
in Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, his studio.
Okay.
his house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
What they made it into like a museum?
it's a museum.
It's a
Yeah, it's
museum.
like Graceland.
Okay.
Which is smart to do.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh, for
Prince,
sure. You're talking about
Prince is hands down to me.
The artist.
Nothing against love Michael, love Madonna. You know, but when I look at Prince, I'm like he played every instrument. He wrote every song. He produced. He knew the studio. He didn't need anybody else there. You know what I'm saying? And he was young when he did that. You know, just virtuoso.
They say he had over 2,000 songs
in his vault.
done, produced, ready to go.
In his
done.
vault.
How many songs?
That's
of other-
unreleased?
that never even, makes me wonder who owns that and where that stuff's all at now. But, How many songs were written by Prince that other artists did? A lot.
And then songs he wrote. Songs he wrote for the people.
Songs
He wrote for Sinead O'Connor. He wrote for Chaka Khan. He wrote for Larry Graham.
That Sinead O'Connor song, did he write that for her or did he?
That was his song that she sang.
It was his song that he sang for
Yes.
sure, but he didn't write it for her specifically, right? Yeah, it was just one of his songs. Because he also recorded.
Yeah, when
Nothing
he heard
compares to
her
you.
sing it, he said, "Okay, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I'll give you because you got the pipes." Yeah,
And she put a lot into
He
it.
took his ego
yeah.
out
I
of that
remember
one.
when that came
oh
out.
yeah, Sinead O'Connor was bad.
Yeah. She was,
Give it to her now. Come on now.
and she got a
Give it to
real
her.
bad rap. There was something about a flag. She's from Ireland.
Yeah, which
And she
was
wanted to-
her right to burn.
Did she burn a flag?
Yeah, on TV.
Was
She
it
burned,
an American
she burned
flag?
the U.S. flag on on TV.
Yeah, that would have done it.
And
Was
so
she,
that
was she
Especially then.
protesting? What was she protesting?
I think she was something. I think she was just how she felt about.
I didn't think
Whatever.
she burned a flag.
I think she burned the flag. She had something to do with the flag.
I know it had something to do with the
But yeah.
flag. Yeah.
But yeah, but when he heard her sing, that's when he said, "Yeah, you can sing." Yeah, but Prince, yeah, he's mine. Yeah,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
the man.
I saw him 8 times, so yeah, he was amazing, and I just still heard. And he passed away in April, so I'll have my day of crying when he died. The anniversary, but amazing.
Okay.
There's some people when
Amazing,
they,
amazing artist.
Prince, Purple Rain changed. The album Purple Rain opened my eyes to a new.
The album and the movie, yeah.
I never saw the movie till I was grown.
Got
Gotcha. Childhood, weird childhood.
Gotcha,
We can get into that another time. But so I never saw the movie until earlier. I had the album had to be the first copy got confiscated. The second one I hid
Gotcha.
a little bit better. You learn things. Cassette tapes were a huge boom because you can hide a cassette way better than you can hide vinyl.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then he had the time, and Morris Day and the Time, and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and just, I just.
And then just when you thought you
Everything
knew
goes
who
back to
Prince
Prince.
was,
Everything goes back to Prince.
something he came out and did something a little bit differently.
Yeah.
It was the revolution, and
Yeah.
then Morris Day, and them, and then
New Power Generation.
New Power Generation. That's what
Yes.
Yep.
Just music.
He became much more classic. But he also did the first Batman. He did the soundtrack to the first Batman. And you can go back and listen to the original, the Michael Keaton, the first
Sure
Batman
did.
one.
Yeah, he sure
that is,
did.
That
I
is
did not
some
know that.
Yeah,
great
Batman.
music. That is
Yes.
some great music on that Batman album.
Ridiculous.
I think it's way underrated. Yep. That
Ridiculous.
is some
He
really,
sure
really
did.
good
First
music.
Batman
He sure did.
soundtrack.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
You didn't
Go
know
listen
that.
to it. Yeah.
I did not know
With
that.
Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
yes.
Every-
Pardon
Go
me.
hard.
Yeah, when he
Pardon
came out,
me.
he had the, when they painting on there.
Yes, sir.
Lawrence?
Yes, sir.
Who's on your playlist now?
Listen, you know what? I listen to a lot of Nigerian. I love Oxlade. I love Tim's.
Tim's, okay.
I love a lot of Nigerian singers right now. I'm rocking with them right now. Love Snow Allegra. I saw her
Never
a
heard
few
of that.
times. She's ridiculous. She's not Nigerian, but she's ridiculous. But loving a lot of Nigerian singers right now. Loving them. Loving
I
them.
just know Burner Boy.
Him too. Love him too.
Burner Boy. Ain't he Nigerian, right? He's
Oxlade. You know the song Kulosa. CK. Oh, loving him. Loving him.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I went to, and a good friend of mine, one of my former writers got me onto soca, not reggae, soca music. So I love like Masha Montana, and I love Kes the Band. So I love a lot of soca music.
Now, I'm a reggae fan. I never heard of soca. What's
Soca. Okay. So
Is it a spin-off of reggae?
it's, I don't want to insult. So
Is
it's
it from Africa? Is it like reggae?
No,
Because
Tr-
reggae is
Trinidad.
originally from.
Trinidad.
It's Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Okay.
Trinidadian.
Okay.
So the islands. But I'll get you some artists somewhere. Masha Montana and Kes the Band. Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Watless, yes. Awesome. Awesome.
Soca.
Soca.
How do you spell that? How would I find it? If I
SOCA?
SOCA.
Soca music,
Okay.
yeah, soca.
Soca music. I'm gonna check it out.
Awesome. Very positive.
I wouldn't
very
go as far
positive.
as to call myself a fan of reggae. I like reggae, but if I'm gonna say a fan, I need to know a little bit of something about it, and I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard the backstory of what's his name?
Bob Marley?
Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it was almost an accident how him and his band got discovered. It was supposed to be another band that the folks from the record label that were came to see another band, and either the other band sucked or they didn't show up or whatever. And Bob Marley and his guys were ready. Opportunities preparedness plus what is it?
The Reelers.
He was ready to go.
Yeah, he was ready to go. Yeah.
He was ready to go, and he was able to take advantage of an opportunity, and then he became Bob Marley. I saw the Wailers here in Huntsville after he died.
Oh.
Wow. I've seen Ziggy a few times. This son. Ziggy.
Okay, yeah.
Ziggy's awesome. Ziggy and
I've heard that's amazing.
yeah, Ziggy's awesome.
Yeah, when we did the
And his youngest son, the one, Junior Gong, who sings "Welcome to Jam Rock," awesome, ridiculous. But it's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of Marleys because he had like 20,
Yeah, he got
25 kids.
Did you ever go to the Big Spring Jam here in Huntsville? You don't remember Big Spring Jam?
I've only done Jazz in the Park here.
Big Spring Jam was an outdoor concert that ran in the fall for 10 years or so, and they had big acts.
Okay.
It was, as I think about it, it was pretty white. I think that was one of the not controversy, but one of the problems with it was that there wasn't
Enough
there were
diversity.
very few black artists, and it was overwhelmingly country and overwhelmingly white. I remember, I think T.I. came and played and showed his ass, and so the city was like, "Oh, we can't let hip hop." I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You hear all kinds of stories.
Gotcha.
But I saw the Wailers there.
Okay.
They played right before Jewel. If you know
Oh,
who
okay. Jewel.
is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I saw both of those, and
Save your
Jewel
soul.
seemed like she was a little starstruck over the Wailers. She talked about them for like the first 10 minutes of her show.
They're legendary.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, been around at that time a lot longer than she had too. So
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You working on any books right now? Are you
I'm working.
writing?
I'm ghostwriting for 3 people right now.
How do you do that?
So people who don't have time to write a book were like, "Doctor, you've written books. I don't have time. So can you write this book with me?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So I'm doing a murder book right now. I'm doing a horror story, and then
Fiction?
I'm doing 2 of them. Yeah.
if it's a murder book and a horror story, I hope those are fiction.
Well, it's in the interpretation of the audience. So, and then I'm doing another one of inspiration, self-discovery for a lady. Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm doing 3 right now.
Do she send you information that she want in the book, and you kind of
Dictate.
just put it together?
Every Sunday, 6 o'clock, we talk. Every Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my other ones,
Ghostwriting.
I will, they'll do what they want. I'll put it in the story. I'll make it up and see if they like it, send it, email it back to them. So, yeah.
What's 433?
Oh, that's where I grew up, 433 Edgemont Drive. This is the house I grew up in, 433 Edgemont Drive, and this was for my PhD. This was my dissertation.
Oh,
so,
wow.
and my dean was like, you know what?
Wow.
You need to publish this. And I'm like, no, I just want to graduate. I just want to give me the degree. Give me the 3 letters. Give me the PhD so I can be done.
Right.
And so, but the more she talked about it, a lady in my church, Lillian Sears, she said, well, let me, I went to her. She was a publisher at my church. And I said, well, Miss Sears, I might want to publish this. It's probably not going to be any good, when you look at it. And I had like 6 chapters. And she took it for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And she's like, yeah, keep writing. I'll write it. I'll publish it.
Wow.
And before you knew it, I had a book. And then we did a book signing.
This
and
a lady at your church?
This was this was 2004.
We need to start going to church.
So,
I know, right? Maybe
we might get a Macy's deal.
Let me tell
might
you,
need to get our life right.
Let me tell you, everyone goes to church. The hairstylist, the funeral home director,
Everybody.
The chef,
Yeah, we need to get to
entrepreneurs.
church.
Everyone goes, black or white. Everyone goes to church.
That is
Y'all
true.
need to get in church.
We need to get in church.
So,
We can start our own church.
or
We
start
can
your
start
own.
our own church.
But Lillian Sears, God bless her soul,
Lillian
she
Sears. Shout out
believed in
Lillian
me,
Sears.
and she had set up like 3 or 4 book sign, nice books,
Set up
books
book
a million. I'm
signings
like,
for
which,
you.
which, and then we got in books a million, and then I bought my first house in Orlando, Florida,
Off that book.
off book sales, Lillian Sears.
The house that her dissertation built. Congratulations.
You had a lot of people, a lot of amazing people in your life
Let me
that
tell you,
made you into the woman
Tell
that
you, God is good. God has been good to me my entire life,
will
but
help create the woman that you are.
and not
now.
only that, but I received the help. You know,
you received
so I wasn't like,
Correct.
I know everything. I'm like, no, how'd you do this?
And you listen.
How did you do? Show me how you did this. So as people pour into me, I pour into them. That's why I pour into my niece a lot.
Wow.
I travel with her. She's been to the Grand Canyon. I had to cover Macy's parade 3 years ago. I took her for the whole week. We did the Macy's
I
parade.
love to see the Macy's parade.
I would like to see
the
that.
floats,
Yeah,
know.
I
and
would like to see that.
We
That'd
did.
be fun.
Like, we took.
That's Chicago, right?
No, that's New York.
That's New York?
Manhattan. Yeah.
What's the one they do in
The
Chicago?
big tree.
That's
the Thanksgiving.
Taste Chicago.
Is that the Thanksgiving parade in Chicago? Which one is Chicago?
I don't.
I thought they did
the food festival. Taste Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Chicago. But Thanksgiving Day every day is New York.
The
Macy's
York.
parade.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
So I took her. So she saw the big parade. She saw the big floats, and she met hyphen K-pop. Because I had to
that
interview them.
K-pop. Oh, my
we met some
goodness.
Rockettes. Took her to the Rocket because I'm with NBC, so I get this VIP stuff.
Wow.
So she's been out. Took her to Vegas. I've taken her to San Francisco. I've taken her to DC. So and she, in fact, it's funny.
Rich auntie,
It's funny. She had a history class, and they said, "So who's been to DC? Who's been to New York? Who's been to California?
Me.
Who's been abroad?
Before they ask the question,
And so they were like, whatever you're doing, keep doing that. So I take her as much as I can. I took her to the Kentucky Derby. Showed her how to
We've
bet.
talked about
I want to
that.
go
Yeah,
to a
we've
Kentucky
talked about
Derby.
that.
Took her to the Kentucky Derby.
Have you had a mint julep?
Have I? Yes, and the cranberry one. The mint julep is nasty, but you got to have it.
Mint julep.
You
is
gotta
nasty?
have it.
You got to have it. You have
Okay,
to.
the experience.
You have
What
to.
is it? What does it taste like? I've always wanted to have a mint. You said it's nasty. What?
Lead.
Oh,
Really?
It's awful. It's awful.
Really?
The cranberry is very
The
sweet.
cranberry is
And
where
then get a
it's at.
Stella Rose.
Okay.
And then keep going.
and keep going.
Keep going. That wouldn't be a problem for us.
It's the Derby, baby.
Wow.
Bourbon, baby. Come on now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
know.
Look,
You are in Bourbon Alley.
we're
Up
known
there
to
in
have a sip
Kentucky.
or two.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
it's wonderful.
I like
So
Tennessee whiskey. though.
we give
right?
her. She gets Louisville.
Louisville, yeah, Louisville.
Louisville,
Yeah.
Louisville. However you want to say it.
Louisville, yeah, however you
all
want to
of
say it.
those.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
so,
it's Louisville.
So she's very cultured. So and her friends are always like, "You did what? And you're a fencer? Like what? So I want her to be very well rounded because we were
Sure.
and now she gets it, and she's very. Very mindful that her friends don't get to do those things. She's very mindful.
That's
They're like,
good that
it's like,
she-
Maddie, where you going? She's like, well, I don't know. I'll probably go to Atlanta. They're like, Maddie, we know you ain't going no damn Atlanta.
Keep it
You
humble.
know.
She stay
Right.
humble.
She's very humble because she's very mindful that she gets to do these things that other people adults can't do. So, but
exactly
she's
right.
She fly. You don't know. 16, 16. She's fly first class. When I fly, she gets what I get.
I'm 54. I've never flown first class.
So she's, so she's.
I
she's
tried to
very
peek in
mindful
first
of that.
class one time. They gave me the whole poke me in both eyes. You may not
So,
come up here, sir.
yeah.
I just wanted to look.
So it's
Well, listen, we have been talking
folks
for a
pour,
minute or
folks
two.
pour into me, so I pour into her.
That's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
It does take a village.
It does. You need help. We all need help.
Yeah.
Everybody. With young
We need
people.
help, but we need influence.
Yeah.
And that's
And the younger
Yeah.
you are, the more, in other words, two people can raise a couple of kids and isolate themselves, do it, Old West style. Maybe
Or
you're the
one.
only farmer out there, or one. Can one. It's a lot harder with one, but you're right. Even one person can do it if they need to. I know some examples.
Many do it.
Many do it.
Yeah.
Infinitely harder. Infinitely
I
harder.
don't know. If you have the right.
I do. From personal experience, I do.
I've seen some do it single, and
I have too. Oh no, it's my sister
It's
was a
hard-
single
it's
mom for a
hard
long
with
time,
two.
and it's very, very difficult. But
it's hard.
if you
But you got two. If you have two adults who are on the same page, that's hard too. And I've
it's hard.
seen
that's hard
that too.
also.
with
Yeah,
two. Yeah,
that's hard
I've
also.
seen
Yeah,
that
for
too,
sure.
so I
There's no
don't-
easy way out.
Yeah.
But
I'm doing 18 to life.
I can't believe both
18
of
to
y'all.
I'm
have-
doing
life.
18
You could
to
have been.
life.
You got a two. Your oldest is how old is Shane? Your oldest is how old?
33.
And Maddie is
Madeline's
2.5.
2.5.
Two
Yeah.
and a half.
And your oldest is 19?
19.
And Enzo is 2.
3.
3.
And I got a 1-year-old, Ezra.
Here's what I'll say about that.
18 to life.
And I've had people ask me,
18
to life.
Oh my God.
it's always life.
Live,
There is no,
Yeah.
there is no
Live,
parole.
live, live, live.
Oh. How did I get live?
How did I get? Oh my gosh! Such a
18
good movie.
to life.
Life. Such a good movie.
It is.
God, that's such a good movie.
My
Classic.
son was talking about
classic Eddie
Get Right.
Murphy.
Can't Get Right the other day.
You know,
My son was saying something about it.
man, I will watch any
just
Eddie
like, can't
Murphy
get right.
movie. I will watch any.
I
Eddie
will too, but some
Murphy.
of them are cheesy.
Jiggly.
Some of them are cheesy, but I still give it a watch.
cheesy. Which one's cheesy?
You know what? Those Clump movies, I'm not saying they weren't funny, but they were cheesy.
He did
Not
Norbit.
the
I would
first
say
one.
Norbit.
No, okay,
The Norbit was kind of.
But see, I watched that for
Okay. And you're right, the first one was better.
Cat Williams.
What was
Cat
the best
Williams.
Eddie Murphy movie?
I can't even say. It's because you got Trading Places, you got Coming to America,
Banger.
you got Life.
Coming to America's hard to. Coming to America in Life.
Trading Place. You got Harlem Nights.
Oh,
Banger.
Oh, we talk about Harlem
You got
Nights all the time.
Boomerang.
Banger.
You got Raw.
Banger.
You got
Raw
even
was a-
the one Nick Nolte. What did he do?
48 Hours.
No, that was Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. What was that?
No, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover was Lethal Weapon.
Thank you. Was it
48 Hours was.
48 Hours?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah,
48
think so.
hours.
40 Hours was good too.
Yeah.
Was it 48? No.
Yeah,
When he
48
was,
hours.
what was he? Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop. That's
Axel
right.
Foley.
Yeah.
Axel Foley. Beverly Hills
So you
Cop.
can't say.
Yeah.
You can't say. But Beverly Hills Cop is in top.
Have you met Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. He's amazing.
You don't get to that level without being amazing.
You don't.
You don't get to,
Very, very
like you might
humble.
be a one-hit wonder. You might
Very,
blow
very
up or
humble.
whatever, a couple years or
Very,
whatever.
very
But
humble.
if you're Eddie Murphy level, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Very humble.
You have to be amazing to be at that level and stay there.
Who's the I don't want to say favorite person you met, but had you starstruck? Like, wow.
Oh, I already know the answer.
Most
Sorry.
starstruck
Go ahead.
person
You know what?
you met.
The two, Denzel and RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., because I had to do a Marvel premiere. And we had just met Chadwick for the Black Panther. And then we did the other Marvel for, I took my twin to LA and we did Endgame. RDJ.
I've heard he was
I wasn't expecting
captivating
that.
presence.
RDJ.
I thought you were going to say
Robert
Oprah, 'cause I heard
Downey.
you talk
Oh
about
yeah,
Oprah.
Oprah's cool, but I've met her a few times. But even the first time it was like, because when we were invited to her house as
Right.
press, so you surrender your phone, you get in the golf cart, they take you there, and you're like, and then she's there.
I got to be honest, man. If somebody said surrender my phone and you're going to drive me over there in a golf cart, I'm going to be like
You at Oprah's house.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to probably trust Oprah, but I'm still going to be thinking about Diddy. I'm going to be real careful. You know what I'm saying? Where I
Not
walk
with
around. You
Oprah?
took my phone.
With
Not with Oprah, for
Oprah.
sure.
Not with
Probably
Oprah?
not. Probably not. But until you knew about Diddy, you wouldn't have thought about it about him either.
But
More
he-
so
but-
than Oprah.
but
though, that's
here-
for sure.
but here's the
even
thing,
for
Robert Downey
Diddy
Jr.
got caught. There are several Diddies. That's what bothers me.
for sure.
There
Yeah,
are
yeah.
several
Yeah.
who are doing
I think
what
there's
he
more
did.
than several, probably.
Oh, several. But they're
more than,
still free. So that bothers me because he wasn't the only one.
Have you met Diddy?
Yeah. I went to a few Diddy parties in
What was
Miami.
You been at a Diddy
Revolt.
party?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
What was he actually
I met R.
convicted of? Let's
Kelly
don't- let's
in
don't
the
get into
studio.
Diddy's, all that, but
Uh-huh.
what was Diddy actually convicted of?
Trafficking.
Whether he
sex
did it or
trafficking.
not. Sex trafficking? I'm not, well,
And
I'm not
abuse.
saying he,
Yeah.
Yeah, sex
Yeah.
trafficking.
abuse though.
Yeah.
But he Cassie. Yeah.
When you say abuse, like physically
Abuse.
harming somebody,
Yes.
beating up somebody.
You didn't see the video?
Battery. Yes.
Oh no, I didn't see the video, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a video
He
I don't
wouldn't-
need
he wouldn't
to see.
have said that. Yeah, you don't gotta see
Yeah,
it.
I don't. I don't
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
watch a dude beat a woman's ass. Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah. There's
Sadly,
things.
yes.
Okay, so, how long do you? I'm gonna end up saying it. You shouldn't beat anybody's ass.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself for
Period.
sure.
Period.
How long has he been in prison for one ass beating?
I think it's 2 or 3. It's been at least 2 or 3, at least 2 years, maybe a year and a
Probably
half.
so.
Okay, I mean, yeah, if he hurt the woman, yeah, okay, no, yeah.
But
you
it's
can do a
more
couple
than
years
just
if you
that.
hurt
It's,
her.
it
Yeah.
also the
It's also
trafficking.
some trafficking,
Yeah,
whatever.
other things
yeah.
like that,
Yeah, it wasn't just that.
It's not going to be for life.
I heard
Yeah.
some of that trafficking stuff might have been some.
But here's the thing too. But
Man Act.
I think that's why people are very leery of Hollywood, the world. That's why when we talked earlier, I have normalcy living here in Huntsville. I go
is
to the
true.
Oscars, the Kentucky Derby, the Sundance in Utah, which is ridiculous. It's amazing. And all these and New York Fashion Week and Olympics and things like that. Wimbledon.
I know Wimbledon
Serena,
down, Serena. yeah.
Coco Golf. So I love doing all those things, but I come back to Huntsville, Alabama, where it's very, very normal. So I can do my job and go there and come back. So that's why I love what I do. Because I wouldn't want to live in LA. I wouldn't want to live in New York, especially now with the blizzard. But this is very, very normal.
I think it would be very easy to
It
get
evens everything out.
Yes.
sucked into that lifestyle and that belief system, if you want to call it that. I don't know about belief
There's a
system
pressure there,
necessarily,
though. There's a pressure there. There
but,
is.
the materialism and I think it would be real easy to get caught up in the glitz and glamour
paparazzi
and the excitement
press
and
all that kind of
paparazzi
stuff,
and I got endorphins from this. Let me go a little bit further.
Sure.
Next thing you know,
Now the opportunity is there because there's a TV show every 5 seconds. So to be noticed, it's good to be in LA so you can get, or New York so you can get seen a lot faster. And get on this show or get on that show or whatever. So.
And I think you could probably live in LA and not lose who you are as a person.
Several people do. Several do. Several do.
But you also become who you're around. And
you can.
I kind of like. I'm like you. I like Huntsville.
I like the normalcy of this. This is. There's no paparazzi here. There's none of that. I can do that and come back here to my house and water my plants.
Interesting.
Very normal.
We could do this. How much longer could we do this? I could go for a while. Mr. Producer Man is already. I've already had to turn my head.
Yeah,
I've already had to turn a little bit. He gave us the 5-minute sign at least 10 minutes ago. So here's what I want to do.
Okay, we're gonna close out. Okay.
Here's how we.
My closing thought.
We always close out. Q always closes us out, and so I'm gonna transfer it over to him in just a second. But what I want to do is make sure
Ezra's
dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
You ever heard of Dr. Laura Schlesinger?
Do you only have boys?
3 boys, 1 girl.
The girl is the oldest.
No,
How old is she?
13. That's the Broadway dancer.
Oh, that's right.
My daughter. Yes.
His oldest is in college where?
Leilani.
USA, University, South Alabama?
University of South Alabama.
Is that Mobile, USA?
Yeah.
Oh,
He in Mobile.
I've been where that is. It's a beautiful campus. I've been there.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
You have a 13-year-old that likes Broadway.
Yeah. Oh, that's her goal. I want to be on Broadway. I want to be on Broadway.
Because I know the manager of the Apollo Theater in New York.
And she's a phenomenal dancer. I mean, professional.
Did you hear that? I know the manager of the Apollo in New York.
I heard exactly what you said.
I know the manager
of Apollo.
Of the Apollo.
The Apollo.
Okay.
In New York City.
Okay.
That's a good. You threw that in like it was. Did you notice that? Oh, and by the way, I know the manager at the McDonald's down the street. You threw that in like it was nothing. The Apollo.
Apollo.
So I'm just.
Okay.
Wow.
Doesn't that go back all the way? So listen, here's what I want to do, though. Dr. Mose, first of all, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I appreciate you gracing us with your presence.
Oh, my goodness.
Love you, Kevin.
By far the highest profile, best educated, best traveled. We could go on and on.
You can.
God is good.
So, for anybody listening, where can people find you? What do you want to push right now? You've got several books out. I'm not going to try to,
social media. Go to Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
Let's make life easy because that's where that's the new resume anyway. So
sure.
Go to Google Denise Mose.
Google Denise Mose, Mose.
Mose, and go to my Instagram,
which is what I did,
TikTok,
by the way.
Like and follow.
Okay.
And slide my DMs. That's
what
that is it. That's what everyone is doing. You don't need a manager anymore. You don't need a fancy lawyer. Slide the DMs.
Right.
That's it. That's it. That's how your bigger stars now are getting seen. That's how Leon Thomas got with SZA and got the Grammy for Snooze.
Slid in the
no,
DM.
no fancy manager, no fancy this or that. He
bypass.
Instagram is free. My name is so and so. I want to work with you. And she's like, okay, let's work.
Wow.
No fancy manager, no attorney, social media.
Without opening a rabbit hole, is it fair to say that the greatest gift that the internet has given us is equality? Equality of access.
The access is
equality
equal.
of access. In other words, no matter how poor you are or small town you come from, whatever it is, you can slide in somebody. Everybody has an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And then it's just a matter of did you have game or not?
Yeah, and did you follow up? Because the stars will call you. So did you follow up, make the effort? Like for me, when I got serious about working with NBC and this Hollywood life, they're like, well, the Kentucky Derby's in Louisville, so you can't stay here. You got to go to Louisville. The Oscars is in LA. It's in Hollywood, Dolby Theater. You can't stay here. The Wimbledon is in London. Now we're going to give you a first class ticket, but you got to go to London. So so it's about opportunity, and then how much do you want it, and then what are you willing to sacrifice to do it? Well, I don't have kids, so I can take my little self to London for 10 days and go see Serena and hang out with her. I can take myself to LA and do these things because one, you're paying for it. I'm the talent. So I'm doing the story, I get to go home. So it's about, because you have to have something for people to want to pour into you.
Correct.
I wouldn't be with NBC as long as they were like, well, she ain't got her stuff together. So I do a good article, I don't embarrass NBC when I'm traveling on their dime. I get to my hotel room on time. I'm not getting plastered at night. I'm going taking good pictures, giving a good story, and I'm done. With my next article. There are people who do what I do, and they are not successful because they get to the Grammys and they get to all the hosting parties and don't do the article, don't get the celebrity, don't do their job. They think they're the star. Baby, you ain't arrived. This is a job. This is my job. It just happens to be this cool stuff that I do, but it's still a job. So I think you have to have your stuff together, be professional, do your job, freak out. Because when I interview, when I'm on the red carpet, you're not thinking about Denzel, you're thinking about your job.
Right.
I go to the hotel and go crazy, like, okay, I really did that.
Yeah.
We really did that. That was, oh my God, we really did that.
But in the moment, you're able to stay focused.
Yeah, but it's also adrenaline because the red carpet is like this. You got, okay, here's Denzel, you got 30 seconds. Here's Meryl, you got 10 seconds. So you don't have time to freak out. I got to get my job and make sure my producer is seeing these pictures. Like I was the cue, get the angles right because I need the photo of me and Denzel. I need the picture of me and this person so that there's the proof. No picture's no proof. So you weren't there. So you got to have pictures. Especially today, you got to have pictures.
Got to have. Oh yeah,
got to have proof that you were there. Got to be a timestamp.
I love it.
Got to.
All right, folks, go check out Denise Mose, DeniseMose, wherever you check out anything.
Yes.
Which is probably your phone right now. And I have just become aware of you, but let me say, if you're out there for real, go check out Denise. She's got some real fascinating stuff. A very, very interesting person, and that's definitely backed up in person. For sure. For sure, backed up in person. Q, I think it's time. It's
All right,
always time.
Dr. D, we always
Words of wisdom.
leave out with words of wisdom. We always try to impart something on the listener before we close out the show. But I want this to be kind of a two-part situation, Shane, in this situation. So you visited us. This is your first time visiting our podcast.
Yes.
So we would like some constructive criticism. At least I would. I'm pretty sure you would feel the same way, Shane.
Of course.
Because you've done the upper echelon of this. And so could you give us some constructive criticism? And then with that, could you leave us with some words of wisdom or some type of influence that will better our audience or help our audience?
Constructive criticism, I
For
would say,
us.
for you. This is not negative, but I would make sure you stay on.
It can be negative.
No.
Yeah, whatever it is.
It's
Whatever it
I would
is.
say it's
We want it-
correction.
we-
I would.
We want it live. We won't correct. Yeah, sure.
I would stay on the topic. I think it's easy to veer off other topics because we got onto a few things that I'm like, that has nothing to do with my books, or me at all, So I get it, but I would, because you might lose your guest that way. Like when you brought me here and we went down this rabbit hole for 10, 15 minutes. I could have been
Black
home.
hole, yes.
So I would stay on the topic. Whoever your guest is,
Sure.
But that's the one. But also, I just love how this is extremely comfortable. You make it very, very welcoming for your guest. It's very much laid back. Although to get here was like the Matrix
It's interesting getting here.
because it's down here in the bottom of Huntsville, and
The bowels.
When we say
I
deep
could
in
go
the bowels
missing
of
real
Huntsville.
easily.
Yes.
Because y'all, I'm just following. I don't know who.
can't
I don't
go
know. I
missing
don't know.
over in the
I don't know
Chronicles.
your mechanic pay.
Yep.
I'm trusting Kevin, and Kevin wasn't here, and I'm like, so y'all taking me to Kevin, right? Because I ain't seen Kevin yet.
Where's Kevin?
So I'm meeting y'all for coffee. I don't know y'all, so I'm trusting you only because I love Kevin. So
Your influence is great,
yes.
Mr. Producer.
It's like
Repeat.
I'm like, I'm going to see
I've
Kevin.
wondered about that
Reputation
often.
preceded-
As we
Right.
bring a guest
Preceded
into
you,
here,
Kevin.
it does look like you're fixing to hear some banjo
Especially if
music.
they never
Well,
met us.
Especially when
if
you've
they
never,
never-
I mean, I saw Sinners. They wouldn't know
Yes.
that hallway. So
for sure.
Yes.
They went in the house, they didn't come back. They went in the barn. So I saw Sinners.
Yep.
So
Yep. I worry about that sometimes.
yeah. So
And especially as we strive to get more female guests in here. If I were a lady,
right?
and,
What did I
and
say?
you know what?
What did I
Listen,
say?
I
This
saw
is when you kill me? This is when you kill me?
and I saw your defensive body language. You were ready to, you were ready to do what you had to do. If
And
it
I said,
came
and then
to
you
that.
said, we're across the street. You're not across the street.
But you have
It's
also
around the corner, and I'm wearing heels, and it's cold.
Down
Y'all
the,
lied.
Down the hall, down the alleyway.
But
around the
again,
corner.
because I love my doggone Kevin.
Shout out Kevin.
Yeah, we only met 6 weeks, Kevin. So
Thank you for the influence, sir.
Shout out Kevin, the boss man. Uh-oh. I received that.
This has been fun.
It has.
okay.
Stay on
sir.
topic, Shane.
Stay on topic.
So I will stay on topic.
I've been told that.
Stay on
my
topic.
whole
We
life.
black hole.
Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
Rabbit hole, black
Stay
hole,
on topic.
soapbox.
And I get it. It happens because, the conversation, it goes there, so I get it.
It does go there.
But bring it back.
And that's kind of our style to keep it natural.
It is.
Just let it flow where we
from
go.
From a professional
yes, when
standpoint.
you start
Here's the other thing, too.
professionals. Yes.
I mean, we've interviewed a number of people,
Yeah.
all of us professional in one way or another, but not a professional in the media world. You're by far the most experienced person that we've had in here when it comes to what it is that we aspire. I mean, we're podcasters, there's levels of that, but of what it is that we would aspire to be. And so, I appreciate it. Now, of course, your advice is your advice.
Yeah, of course.
And what
And
we
your
need to
vibe
do
is your vibe.
and we need to take that and mix it into our vibe. I heard you talking on another podcast that I was listening to today, and you talked about taking inspiration from somebody, and you mentioned Oprah personally for your life.
Yeah.
How you took inspiration. You said, okay, well, this is somebody who I would like to be, who I aspire to be like.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean I'm copying her.
Right.
I'm using her for inspiration. It's
Correct.
a big difference
She's
between copying
barometer.
and inspiration.
Absolutely.
This is what I feel like I could achieve.
Sure.
Now let me see how she did it and see what I can apply to what I do, what's going to work for me and what's not going to work for me.
Sure.
And I thought that was, that's something I really took from that. It's too easy to try to copy somebody. A lot of people try to become clones of this or that.
And you can't do. There's only one Oprah, but I can. But to me, she was very. She's single. She doesn't want kids. She's in communications. I'm in communications. She has a big platform. I'm growing my platform. She's wildly successful. She's written books. I've written books. She's got some bestsellers. I've got some bestsellers. So I just said, okay, she looks like me. She's African American. She's chocolate. I'm like, okay, it's attainable because So she's the barometer for many writers and journalists. Like, and then she had her show for 25 years. That was
for sure
ridiculous, So she's just.
How many careers did Oprah launch?
That part. So she was a.
First thing I think about is Dr. Phil. He would have been nothing without Oprah.
Of course,
without Oprah.
And Nate,
he would have been something.
And
but
Nate Berkus, who has his own line of HCN furniture and stuff. So all these people she's poured into because people poured into her. So and that's her big thing. She's always about giving back. I want to give back to people because she came from nothing in Mississippi, nothing. Wow. So to come from that and to still be very, very relevant. Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom.
Because you need to follow someone who's successful in what they're doing, and she's successful. I'm not saying against people who didn't make it, but someone who's and how she has maintained her success. Like, okay, that's okay.
And that's not to say there's not a lesson from somebody who hasn't been as successful.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
who do you want to be like?
Follow
that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WOW.
Okay, so you said so. Yeah. So leave you with something.
Little feedback.
Drop something for our audience.
Yeah, drop something.
What do you want to leave that is gonna, whatever
for the youth?
I am gonna. I'll do two things.
Okay.
One, I know everybody's probably done this, but read "Oh, the Places You'll Go" by Dr. Seuss, and most folks have. But read "Oh, the Places You'll Go."
I haven't read that one.
It's a good.
It's about life, and it's beautiful. But also,
I'm reading it tonight.
There's a quote by Steve Martin, the comedian.
Okay.
And he said, "Be so good they can't ignore you."
Wow.
I'll leave you with that.
Bars.
Be so good they can't ignore you. Because they laughed at Steve Martin when he first got started. They laughed at him and he did Three Amigos and everything. But he said, "I don't care what you're doing, but be so good they cannot ignore you." I love that. I love that. Love that.
There it is.
There it is. So
this has been Vendor Chronicles.
yay.
Peace. What a great show.